everyone, I hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite YouTuber, coach, and course creator. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of abandoning the past version of yourself and fully living in the state of the wish fulfilled. This video is inspired by Neville Goddard's The Law and Promise book, in which we will be reading chapter 8 together and really diving deep into this concept. But before we get into it, you are more than welcome to subscribe. On this channel, I talk about all things law of assumption, so if that sounds good to you, I would absolutely love to have you here. You are also more than welcome to enroll in my Perfect Self Concept course, which goes so deep into manifesting instantly, knowing that you are deserving of everything that you want. And to access that course, just go on Kaminski.com and click on the courses tab. I also offer one-on-one coaching. The success stories speak for themselves. Go on Kaminski.com to check those out as well. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Neville Goddard talks a lot about abandoning your former self and living in the world that you actually want to live in. You basically have to retire all of your problems, worries, doubts to the former version of yourself and move on from her. Any stories, any logic, any excuses, any memories, you simply say to yourself, this is not who I am anymore. So the core teaching of this chapter is the renunciation and divorce of your former self and your former life. You can literally de-identify yourself from the 1 second version of you and say, that was the old me, I am a brand new bitch in this moment. Mishka agrees. But what I think is even more important is doing that with all 5 senses in this current moment, completely ignoring your past, your old self, and the 3D world, which, as Neville says, is basically your past anyways. You stop feeding into what is and you start looking at what you prefer, and in turn that becomes your reality. So in chapter 8 in The Law and Promise, he says to move from perceptual awareness or things as they seem to conceptual awareness or things as they ought to be, we imagine as vivid and as lifelike a representation as possible of what we would see, hear, and do were we physically present, and physically experiencing things as they ought to be and imaginatively participate in that scene. So he's talking about fully abandoning your right now self, telling it to fuck off, saying to it, you are irrelevant right now because I'm focusing on me having what I want right now. This is a story that inspired me to no end, and I would like to share it with you now. This is in the exact same chapter. 2 years ago, I was taken to the hospital with a serious blood clot condition, which apparently had affected the entire vascular system, causing hardening of arteries and arthritis. A nerve in my head was damaged and my thyroid enlarged. Doctors could not agree on the cause of this condition, and all their treatments were completely ineffective. I was forced to give up my every enjoyable activity and remain in bed most of the time. My body, from hips to toes, felt as though it was encased and bound by tight wires, and I couldn't put my feet on the floor without wearing heavy hip-length elastic stockings. I knew something of your teaching and tried very hard to apply what I had heard, but as my condition grew worse and I could no longer attend any of your lectures, my despondency grew deeper. One day, a friend sent me a postcard picturing the scene of a lovely beach by the ocean. The picture was so beautiful, I looked and looked at it and began to remember past summer days at the seashore with my parents. For a moment, the postcard picture seemed to become animated, and flooding memories of myself running free on the beach filled my mind. I felt the impact of my bare feet against the hard, wet sand. I felt the icy water running over my toes and heard the crash of waves breaking on shore. This imaginal activity was so satisfying to me as I lay in bed that I continued to imagine this wonderful scene day after day for about a week. One morning, I moved from my bed to a couch and had started to sit up when I seized with such an excruciating pain my entire body became paralyzed. I could neither sit up or lie down. This terrible pain lasted for more than a full minute, but when it stopped, I was free. It seemed as if all the wires binding my legs had been cut. One moment I was bound, the next moment I was free. Not by degrees, but instantly. This is so incredibly inspiring. A sick person that literally could not get out of bed imagined herself on the beach every single day for a week, and not in chapters, not in little sections did she start to move, but all of a sudden she just rose up like a miracle. Except it's not a miracle. It is you fully utilizing your subconscious mind in the way that it was intended. God made us in his image, and including in that is creation. He created us to be the perfect creators. You need to feel all of the senses, that icy cold water, the sand in your toes, the smell of the ocean breeze, knowing that you are there right now, literally not even imagining it, teleporting yourself to that scene. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference. It does not have a brain, it is you. So whatever you tell it, it will project into the reality. He goes on later to say, it is possible to pass from thinking of to thinking from, but the crucial matter is thinking from. You're experiencing the state from the you right now that has it. For that experience means unification. Whereas in thinking of, there is always subject and object, the thinking individual and the thing thought of. You are just daydreaming, and it's not sticking to your subconscious mind that it is happening right now, because you're not identifying with that scene. You're just saying, wouldn't it be wonderful if this kind of thing happened? Become the version of you who already can walk. Become the version of you who can already be in a relationship with this person, travel first class on Emirates, have whatever it is that you want. And then from that state, from that identity, from that reality, you are now stepping into your imagination and just walking through your normal life. Self-abandonment. That is the secret. We have to abandon ourselves to the state in our love for the state. And in doing so, live the life of the state and no more our present state. Imagination seizes upon the life of the state and gives itself to the expression of life of that state. We must be the state to experience the state. I want to share another success story that a client of Neville's shared with him, and it even trumps the one from before. It's just mind-blowing that at any time of the day, you can just go into bed or go anywhere that you want without being distracted. Imagine the scene that you would want to be in your reality right now and have that happen overnight. Although it has happened to me more than a handful of times, it is still so astounding and magical to me and miraculous. So let's read this success story. Thank you for the golden key. It has released my brother from the hospital from pain and probable death, for he was facing a fourth major operation with little hope of recovery. I was very concerned and attempting to use what I had learned about my imagination. Attempting to see my brother in the busy activity of remodeling, I suddenly found myself gripping the back of my kitchen chair I had used many times when something happened. Then suddenly, I found myself standing beside my brother's bed in hospital. This was the last place I would have wanted to be, physically or mentally. But there I was, and my brother's hand reached up and clasped my hand tightly as I heard him say, "I knew you would come, Joe." It was a well hand I clasped, strong and sure, so she felt the strong grip of her brother's hand, and the joy that filled and spilled over in my voice as I heard myself say, "It's all better now. You know it." My brother didn't answer, but I distinctly heard a voice say to me, "Remember this moment." I seemed to awake then, back in my own home. This took place the night after he entered the hospital. The following day, his wife telephoned me saying, "It is unbelievable. The doctor can't account for it, Joe, but no operation is necessary. He's so improved that they have agreed to release him tomorrow." The following Monday, my brother went back to work and has been perfectly well since that day. And do you see how the sister is like, the doctor can't account for it, Joe? It's because it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't need to. That's why I always tell you, do not figure out the how, because as long as you put yourself into the state of the wish fulfilled through your imagination, 1 billion people, situations, atoms, everything will move to aid you in that. Everything that needs to move will move for that image to actually play out in your 3D reality. So Neville goes on to say, not facts, but dreams of fancy shape our life. She needed no compass to find her brother, nor tools to operate, only the eye of imagination. So she didn't need 3D things like, Google or finding a top surgeon. She simply just had to go into her mind and play the best of the best case scenario in her mind for it to unravel, like how she saw it in her mind in the 3D reality, basically instantly. In the world of sense, we see what we have to see. In the world of imagination, we see what we want to see. And seeing it, we create it for the world of sense to see. So when you see it in your imagined mind, it will push out in your 3D reality. We see the outer world automatically. Seeing what we want to see demands voluntary and conscious imaginative effort. Our future is our own imaginal activity in its creative march. So he admits that there is effort to this and imaginal thinking for that thing to push out in your reality. If you don't, your life is just gonna play out in autopilot like it always has. So we need to grasp hold of your mind and actually steer it to where you want your life to go, or else your life is just gonna be the exact same it has always been. He goes on to say, common sense assures us that we are living in a solid and sensible world, but this so seemingly solid world is in reality imaginal through and through. Before it thickens into fact, everyone on the planet will basically be like, this is not logical, it will not make sense, it will never happen, it's impossible, right? But if you just stay in your imaginal mind, people will be like, of course it happened. And you're gonna be like, what the fuck, Jenny? You told me yesterday this was not possible, and now I have the job. There was literally 500 people before me in line for this job. You're telling me I have, oh yeah, because this guy, he actually had an emergency and this person moved, and it's just like, if you go into your imaginal mind, 500 people will move miraculously. And the last little moment that I highlighted in this chapter is, if we take shifting of awareness seriously, there are possibilities beyond belief. Basically telling you that you are limitless, which you are, and this is what my channel is about. Guys, we can manifest anything that we want. There are 2 real life examples in this chapter alone that stabilizes and cements and gives proof that if you just visualize clearly and feel not your emotions, although they will come naturally, and I would try to hype myself up to the point of excitement, which is what Bashar talks about. He says if you visualize to manifest, get to the point of utter sheer pure excitement, to the point where you just can't handle it anymore, milk it, and then leave it until you either think about it again, you're bored, or you want to just visualize again. But not only that, what Neville says is you're feeling the physical senses. So the smelling, the tasting, the touching. What do you see? Are you feeling the cold YouTube plaque? How it's glaring? Are you hearing your husband's voice saying, congratulations, baby, you made it to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? Like, whatever it is. And if you do this correctly, your subconscious will project it out in a day. It has no other choice. And for those people that say that you can't visualize, I can with confidence say 95% of you actually can. And if you can't, this video is not for you. But if you actually want something really bad, you will fucking visualize. You will be able to. If there is a gun pointed to your head, you will be able to visualize. Just keep at it, practice, don't judge yourself, and really do it. Like, just force yourself. Just give yourself no other choice, no plan B, but to envision this. Don't be frustrated. Don't overthink. Just do. And I can tell you from my experience, just 17 seconds of visualization and feeling the vividness of that scene, 100% in the evening and 100% in the morning, but whenever you have time during the day as well. But it has to be pure positive thought that doesn't change. So if you are for second 1, second 2, second 3, thinking that you are now married, but then second 4, you're like, what should I be eating for breakfast tomorrow? Or this isn't gonna work, or but he's not my husband now, you gotta start again. So to apply this, identify exactly what it is that you want. Identify what you are saying in your mind that is keeping this circumstance alive. For example, I'm unlucky, or he left me, or money's tight. Number 2, we're renouncing it. We're not fighting it. We are simply abandoning that old self, those old thoughts. We are withdrawing that belief. Number 3, we are replacing it with the assumption of the wish fulfilled. For example, I'm the luckiest girl alive. He adores me. Money is my stalker. Number 4, we're persisting in that until the 3D bends. We are in the state of the wish fulfilled right before we go to bed. So we're in sats in the evening and just when we wake up in the morning, and whenever we see fit, once during the day, maybe after work or during your lunch break. We're dying to the old man, as Neville says. We're abandoning anytime the thoughts come up of your previous self, we're denying it. That's not me. I actually get everything that I want. You stop reacting to the old reality because you know that the new reality has already been planted in the soil. So for example, when you say, I can't stop thinking about how he's left, Neville would say that that is what you must renounce. You just need to imagine the opposite or your desired outcome so vividly that it kicks the other old reality to the motherfucking curb. You imagine the opposite so vividly that it becomes your new natural state. The opposite being what you desire right now in this current reality. Marriage, money, new lifestyle, whatever. So repeat these affirmations after me. I renounce the old me completely. My imagination is my only reality. What I assume, I become. The old me is gone. I've completely abandoned her. The new me is what reigns. Okay, if this video shifted something inside of you, which I know that it did, don't keep it to yourself. Comment your favorite quote or realization right now so you can lock it into your subconscious and help other people to get inspired. Hit subscribe if you're serious about living your dream life and being limitless. I talk about Neville-based concepts all the time here. And if you made it all the way here, that is not random. That is your higher self pulling you up, leveling you up. Hit like and type I claim this reality in the comments section down below so you tell the algorithm and yourself that you are chosen, because you are. Your new life has already begun. I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.